Lesson 8.1, Angle Pairs. A straight angle is an angle whose measure is 180 degrees. It's a straight line, essentially. A right angle is an angle whose measure is 90 degrees. You can draw a picture if you want. A straight angle is just a straight line. Right angle is a right line. Right angle is like an L. Supplementary angles, two angles whose measures have a sum of 180 degrees. Complementary angles have a sum of 90 degrees. Remember the difference between supplementary and complementary by the fact that supplementary has an S. When I connect the two ends of the S, it makes an 8, which is like 180 degrees. For complementary, it has a C. Connect the ends and bring it down, it looks like a 9, has a 90 degrees. Vertical angles are a pair of opposite angles formed when two lines intersect at a point. So here are your lines. And the angles would be across from each other. Perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect at a right angle. Kind of looks like a T. They're perpendicular lines. Parallel lines are two lines in the same plane that do not intersect. They will never meet. For example 1, find an angle measure. Angle 1 and 2 are complementary. The measure of angle 2 is 24. So we know this is 24. What we don't know is angle 1. We know that if we add them together, they get to be 90 degrees. And that's what they did in this slide. To solve this one-step problem, this is a positive 24, so you want to subtract 24 from both sides. Take 90 minus 24, 66 degrees. So if this is 24 degrees, and they're complementary, which means they're going to equal 90 degrees, one is 66 degrees. Please pause the video and try 1 through 6. Tell whether they are complementary, supplementary, or neither. Remember, if you add them together, and they equal 90 degrees, they're complementary. 180 degrees, supplementary. Neither would be anything else. Number 1, when we add them together, when we add 168 plus 12 together, you get 180, so it's supplementary. The second one, number 2, you get 100 degrees, so it's neither. Number 3, you get 90, complementary. 4, 90, complementary. 5, 186, neither. 6, 180, supplementary. You should have more work on this paper on your notes because you would have added them together. Example 2. This time we know vertical angles. What that means is because angle 1 is 133 degrees, the opposite angle is also 133 degrees. They are called vertical angles. Using that same problem, ignore that 4 right now. You know, so this was 133, this is 133. You know angles 1 and 2 make a straight line. See that line? That means that they are a straight line that starts with an S, just like supplementary, which is 180. If I add 1 and 2 together, you should get 180. I already know angle 1, and that little m means the measure of angle 1 is 133. if I subtract 133 from both sides, you get 47 degrees. So this is 47 degrees. Well, look at 2 and 4. 2 and 4 are opposite angles. They are vertical angles. So the measure of angle 4 is 47 degrees. Once you know one angle, you should be able to identify all the rest of the angles. Of the numbered angles. Remember that one of them is already done for you, one angle, so the rest of them should kind of, when you use your knowledge of complementary, supplementary, and vertical angles. Pause the video, try 7 and 8. Remember number 7, this box means 90 degrees. That means that 6 and 90 degrees is going to make 180. 180 minus 90 is 90. So this is also 90 degrees. It actually ends up that all of them are 90 degrees. 82, number 8, 82 degrees we know. Directly across the opposite angle is also 82 degrees. Use your knowledge that 10 and 11 would make a straight line. And I use the circle because those are the angles. It's a half circle. If you ever heard of a full circle is 360, half circle is 180. So take 180 minus 82. You have 98 degrees. Again, once you know 11, you should know 9 is the same thing. That's vertical angles when you go across from each other to get the same number. Here we have parallel lines, and this arrow right here tells you that these are parallel, and then a line intersecting those parallel lines. We call this the transversal. Just like before, I just need to know one of these 8 angles and I can find all the rest of the angles. Here's what you need to know. Corresponding angles, alternate interior and alternate exterior. Corresponding angles are like 1 and 5. It basically represents the location. Think of it as the location of the angles. The angle location, I'm going to call it. So, for example, 1 is the top of the line, okay? And it's also to the left of the transversal. In the second line, 5 is on top of the line, and it's also to the left of the transversal. See how they're corresponding? So look at measure angle 2. Now, angle 2 is top, and this time it's to the right of the transversal. So what is on top of the second line? Okay, let's just call this line A, line B. Top of line B is 6 to the right measure of angle 6. So 6 and 2 are corresponding. Angle 7. Here's angle 7. Angle 7 is the bottom left. So what else is on the bottom left of the other parallel line? So not line B. Let's look at line A. Here's line A. Bottom is 3 and 4. Left is 3. So measure angle 3. That only leaves one location, and that is angle 4 and angle 8. Again, you can tell they're the same because they go bottom right. And this is also the bottom right. So again, the corresponding angles is all about your angle location. Alternate interior angles Okay, remember interior means inside. So it's inside, I'm going to put parallel lines. Put 2 lines inside your parallel lines. Well, that's going to be these numbers. However, they're alternating. So for example, angle 3 is on the left of the inside. Okay, so inside left. Angle 6 is inside right. This time, to see how they are alternating or alternate, left, right. Okay, they're both on the inside, but one's left, one's right. Just like angle 4 is on the inside, but it's on the right. So what's on the inside but the left? And it's alternating. Okay, so go ahead and go to the opposite side and go to the bottom, angle 5. Alternate exterior angles. Exterior means outside. Oops. So it's your outside angles. Outside angles are 1 and 2, 7 and 8. And we're alternating. So 1 is top left, 8 is bottom right. Or you can even say that it's the outside right. Probably should have said that. Outside right. Angle 7, let me erase all this. Angle 7 is bottom left, or outside left. So what's on the outside? 1 and 2 on the top, but on the right. 2. Measure of angle 2. This is a nice slide, a nice indication of which angles have the same measurement. Okay? All of these angles will have the same measurement. In example 3, we're going to find measure of angle 8. So this is what we want to find. Okay? Now I only know one measurement right now, which you could say is the measure of angle 3, because that's the one I'm missing, is 102 degrees. So I'm going to use what I just talked about, corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior. Okay, first of all, you know 102. I know, and let's start with what they say. Now, there's definitely different ways of doing this. Like, I would have figured out that 2 was opposite angle, that's vertical angle, and that's 102 degrees. What they start with is the fact that 102 degrees is inside, and it's on the left side. So 6 is inside, but it's on the right side. So it is alternate interior. That means the measure of angle 6 is the same, 102. Again, there's always different ways of thinking about this. Now that I would have known angle 2, I would have seen that angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding. See how they're on the top right of the 2 parallel lines? 6 and 8 are, see that half circle? If I draw from this dot to this dot, it's a half circle. That means they're 180 degrees. 180 degrees is supplementary. That means when I take measure of angle 8 and add 102, I should get 180. So think of it as saying 180 minus 102. The measure of angle 8 is 78. Again, once you know a couple of these angles, you should be able to fill in. See, there's another vertical angle. Should be able to fill in all the rest of them. Vertical angle. You can see there's really only 2 measurements. Okay, try numbers 9, 10, 11, and 12 by yourself. You can see that 6 is 115. Before I answer the questions, I'm going to fill in the rest of the numbers. And then 180 minus 115 is 65 degrees, because that makes 180. Check your answers.